Hello Group 1 aspirants. Today we are going to deal with this DRDO, which is a very prominent organization in the defense and technology related operations. Today let's discuss this DRDO. So what is DRDO? DRDO is the Defense Research and Development Organization. It was set up in 1958 to augment the defense capabilities of post-independent India. So it is formed by amalgamation of technical development establishments of Indian Army and the Directorate of Technical Development and Production DTDP with the Defense Science Organization, that is DSO. So this initially it was set up with 10 laboratories but has grown ever since with presently more than 52 laboratories with factories also. So it also employs around 5,000 scientists and 25,000 other scientific and technical personnel. It is a premier defense organization and works under the Ministry of Defense. The motto of this DRDO is Ballistic 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, meaning that strength comes from the science. True to this motto, it has served in nation building. The prime objective of this DRDO is to make India prosperous by a world-class science and technology base and provide our defense services a decisive edge by equipping them with internationally comparative systems and solutions. So what is the vision of this organization? So to provide a strong science and technology base for the country and make our defense system equipped with internationally competitive, state-of-the-art competitive system and solutions. So the main objectives of this organization is to design, develop and lead to production the state-of-the-art sensors, weapon systems, platforms and allied equipment for defense services. Also to provide the technological solutions to services to optimize the combat effectiveness and promote well-being of the troops. To develop infrastructure and committed quality manpower and build strong indigenous technology base. So in this, what I would like to say here is, this DRDO's main objective is to develop weapons, develop the kind of system that help each army or our army or our defense, air and naval troops, so that they will also work effectively, efficiently. And we also develop this infrastructure so that it will help them perform their duties effectively. So the value products of technology systems developed with DRDO and inducted into the services or in the process of induction stands at over 1,90,000 crores. So these include the products like combat vehicles, missiles, multi-barrel rocket launchers, unmanned aerial vehicles, radars, electronic warfare systems, sonars, torpedoes. All these things are produced or in the process inducted in the army, in the services or in the process of induction, this at various stages. So the bridging systems, combat aircraft, sensors, NBC technologies, parachutes, combat-free fall systems, propellants, explosives, detonators, communication system, armament systems, cyber systems, etc. So these are all helpful in the long run for the country also to achieve the self-reliance in defense sector. So what are these? Let us look into this DRDO applications or sensors, sensor systems, weapons and allied equipment, okay, and then combat technology and well-being of troops, the infrastructure and quality manpower with strong indigenous base that we are talking. So achievements, what are those achievements or specific interventions for national building? Let us look into this one by one. The Integrated Guided Missile Development Program under the leadership of this Dr. 𝗵𝗫𝗇 Abdul Kalam which saw the rollout of these crucial missiles and weapon systems, built a strong fleet of diversified missile systems. Diversified missile systems. Let us look into the one by one, that is Prithvi. Prithvi is nothing but it's a short range surface to surface missile. Prithvi is a surface to surface tactical, that is a short range missile. Prithvi, that means land. So surface to surface, so you try to remember that word. And there is another one, Agni. Agni is a long range, that is an intercontinental surface to surface missile. That is another Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3. It's like that we have different various ranges. So what do you mean by this range? First let me give you a simple understanding of this range. Range in the sense, suppose we have a missile here, we have a missile here, and if you fire this missile, it would take this, this missile will go to some place and then he hits this place, right? And range is nothing but the distance between this. The distance between the origin and the target is called a range. Is called a range. So if a long range, that is intercontinental means it is more than 5,000 kilometers. Intercontinental, if it is more than 5,000 kilometers, then we call this as a long range intercontinental missiles. We all know intercontinental means one continent to another continent. If a missile can go to one continent to another continent, then we can call this as a intercontinental missile. So intercontinental missile is Agni is the long range surface to surface. You remember this word, surface to surface missile. And then we have another one is a Trishul. Trishul is a short range surface to air missile. Trishul, we all know that Trishul is a weapon of a Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva will actually, it's a handheld weapon. So if handheld weapon means surface to air, if you throw that, it will go into the air, from hand to air. That's why surface to air missile, short range missile. And then we have another Akash, it is a medium range surface to air missile. Surface to air missile is a Akash. Akash is a surface to medium range surface to air missile. And there is another one is a Nag. Nag is a anti-tank missile. Nag is a anti-tank missile. So these are all built many other missiles like Nirbhay, Astra, Sagarika, etc. This developed the world's fastest cruise missile BrahMos jointly with Russia. In June 2020, Air launched this ballistic missile BrahMos given a combat clearance. So BrahMos is a cruise missile. What is cruise missiles? Cruise missile means what? So we know that I tell you about this message when if it goes a particular trajectory, that trajectory cannot be changed. Once you fire here, it will reach here in a particular direction itself. And this trajectory, whatever it is there, if this trajectory is not going to be changed, then that is called ballistic. So ballistic missile is the missile which has a constant trajectory. That means this is a fixed trajectory. But cruise missile is not like that. Cruise missile does not have this constant, a single trajectory. So it might go this and then it reach like this, it will come again, it may hit this. It will come here, it will go like this, it will go like this also. It reaches here, it changes here, and then it reaches again, it will go here, it will come here, and it will hit the target. That means cruise missile is the missile that you can control the trajectory of the missile. So in the cruise missile, we will be controlling the trajectory of the missile. This will help us to avoid the anti-missile weapons that comes in the forward. So these missiles will also help us so that it will take this. So this cruise missile, sometimes even the target might also change. So if the target also changes, then also a cruise missile will change the target also. So if the target is somewhere here, then cruise missile will change its trajectory and then reach the target. That is the reason why it is called cruising. So this happens either with the help of a computer. That computer might be fit in the missile itself, or that may be controlled by us, like the way we control drones. It may be anything. So these are the cruise missile thing that you need to understand. And now let us look into the ballistic missile defense. Almost completed a two-tier interceptor, that is a multi-layered shield, can map over 60 kilometers, almost from 600 to Prithvi air defense. Prithvi air defense is the one which will call almost 60 kilometers, 600 kilometers, and then 50 to 80 kilometers, a short range one which is covered by ballistic missile defense. So advanced air defense is another one which will be covering from 15 to 30 kilometers. Is a swordfish radar. Swordfish radar, it would cover up to 800 kilometers. So what is this radar is all about? What is this radar? See, this radar is nothing but actually they send signals continuously in a particular region. So if they send the particular signals continuously, so you have sent radar is something like this. Let me give you an example. And this radar will continuously send the signals, and the signals are hit by anything that comes in this, and then these will actually reflected waves or reflected waves comes back and captures this radar. Based on the captured waves, captured signals, it will actually, we will find it out whether what kind of object is that. So this is a radar system that that's the reason why we always find out, we can find out if an enemy aircraft enters into the Indian borders, we can find it out with the help of radars. So these radars will send the signals, and then reflected signals will come to us back, and those signals are captured, analyzed, and based on the analysis we will figure it out whether this is a particular aircraft or particular missile is coming towards us or not. So those kind of things are kept in this. So in this two-tier interceptor is that only. So two-tier is one tier is 50 to 80 kilometers and 15 to 30 kilometers. Air defense. Air defense means anywhere between 15 to 30 kilometers. If anything comes, if our enemy's missile comes between this 15 to 30 kilometers, then automatically our advanced air defense system activates, that swordfish radar activates, and then our ballistic missile can be launched there itself. So that is how this two-tier system works. If anything comes between 50 to 80 kilometers, if an adversary's missile or aircraft comes in, our ballistic missiles can be launched there itself, there also. So this another important thing is indigenization of the technology. 𝗖𝗍𝗺𝗃𝗃, this is a multi-role fighter jet one. This upgradation of the 𝗖𝗍𝗺 to 𝗂𝐶𝗺 also done with us itself. So DRDO indigenously developed this 𝗖𝗍𝗺, that light combat aircraft, that is a Tejas, 𝗖𝗍𝗺𝗃𝗃. It's a multi-role fighter jets. Upgradation of this 𝗖𝗍𝗺 to 𝗂𝐶𝗺, that is unmanned combat aerial vehicle, and then unmanned UAVs, that is 𝗳𝗏, a tactical one, that is also UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. And 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, this is a pilotless target one, and Varunastra and Ushar for Navy and so on. These are also developed with the help of this. In September 2019, the DRDO policies and procedures for transfer of technology was unveiled, where this DRDO agreed to transfer this technology contracts with 16 companies and allied technologies to electronic systems, warning systems, armaments, etc. So what is this warning systems and armaments and then electronic system? Electronic systems, many equipments we use this and in the missiles. In the cruise missile, how can cruise missile works actually? Cruise missile works based on the electronic systems that are present in that system, in that missile itself. So this electronic system captures the target, and then the targeted captured one is taken back, and the process analyzes that, and then based on the analysis it will actually cruise. So this kind of electronic system, even warning systems also, if an enemy missile or if an enemy aircraft comes into enemy object, any object comes into the helicopter or comes into Indian territories, we need to have the warning systems. So those warning systems are also developed by this. Even armaments like the jackets and all these things are also helmets, jackets. They're all designed and developed with the by DRDO itself, and the technology related to these are transferred to 16 companies here. And DRDO also involved with Gaganyaan and space grade force that we have learned in this previous space technology chapter. And then DRDO labs are working with ICMR for a special hand sanitizers and diagnostic kit by the WHO standards. Also protective waterproof clothing with high strength polymer for chemical, biological, nuclear for medical staff. So this DRDO is also working with ICMR, is a Indian Council of Medical Research. So hand sanitizers, even during the COVID-19 also, this DRDO came up with the various medicines that would improve the immunization. And this protective waterproof clothing are with a high strength polymer for chemical, biological, nuclear, for medical staff. Medical staff basically uses these biological materials which might be harmful for our body also. For such type of, to handle such type of material, we need to have a special cloths. That special cloths are designed and developed by DRDO and ICMR together. And there is another important thing is Missile Shakti. Missile Shakti, that is ASAT, that is anti-satellite weapons. DRDO with ISRO, in partnership with ISRO, successfully destroyed a satellite at an altitude of 300 kilometers in LEO orbit. LEO means low Earth orbit. So this is a Missile Shakti, that is a anti-satellite weapons. Mostly this China and Russia is developing this, putting these weapons in the satellites, in the space programs. Though it is banned, but some countries are putting those things. So developing these technologies, if in the future, if our adversary keeps the weapons in a satellite and then they fire from there and they targets the Indian spaces, and then we have to have such type of technology that would destroy those satellites. So for that we have developed this ASAT, that is anti-satellite weapons. So we have successfully destroyed a satellite that is at an altitude of 300 kilometers from the Earth. And we also developed the sensors. What are those sensors? Sensors are nothing but these airborne early warning and control systems. This is AWACS. It's also called as AWACS. You can see this in the vehicle, in this picture here is AWACS. What this airborne early warning and control system is nothing but something like this. This is a AWACS itself. And this AWACS, what this 𝗹𝗃 does is that actually flies around, in and around the country wherever we want to, and this actually sends the signals and receives the signals, and based on the signal received from the target, any object that comes within the vicinity of this areas, this actually gives the signals so that it will actually help us to take early action. If any missile comes in that, then this airborne, this plane itself will actually detect that, and it warns us on the ground so that the ground people will activate the missile. And there is an integrated sonar system for EKM submarine. So what is this sonar is all about? Sonar is nothing but underwater. What we do is, in the underwater we cannot simply see the objects that comes in that. So for that what we do is, we actually send the sound signals and receive the signal. We'll receive that reflected sound back, and based on the received signal sound signals, we will actually find out whether an object, adversaries, our enemies' objects, are anything coming from other side or not. So if a submarine coming in our direction, how can we detect? Our submarine releases these sonars, and that sonars, the received signals, based on the signals analysis, will figure it out whether a particular any objects like submarines are coming towards the Indian territories or not. So if any objects, any enemy objects stays in the vicinity of the Indian waters, then this will also be detected here. And there is a hull mounted sonar, that is also sound navigation ranging. Sonar, that is SO-NA is taken from navigation and R is taken from ranging. Sound navigation ranging. This is a hull mounted one. It's like in the submarines also. And there is another one is a Rajendra, is a surveillance radar. So talking about the surveillance radar means it will actually keeps observe the Indian vicinity. So Rajendra is a surveillance radar. And there is a weapon locating radar, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. So 𝗧𝗧𝗦𝗔 is in another radar named as a 𝗧𝗧𝗦. It would actually locate the weapon force. So 3D low level lightweight radar 𝗧𝗦𝗃. So 3D low level lightweight radar 𝗧𝗦𝗃 MK1 is also another surveillance sensor. And 3D surveillance radar 𝗹𝗶히 is also another one that sensor that is developed by DRDO. This is 3D surveillance radar 𝗹𝗶히. So 𝗹𝗶히 will actually takes the 3D pictures, 3D things, okay. And then the electronic warfare systems for Navy, we have 𝗧𝗏𝗃. 𝗧𝗏𝗃 is an electronic warfare system for Navy, and electronic warfare system for Army, that is 𝗪𝗟𝗏, and electronic warfare system for system 𝗪𝗵𝗔𝗧 is also another sensors, and the electronic support missiles like Varuna is also another sensor that's developed by DRDO. So what are the weapon systems that we have? The Akash weapon system we have Prithvi missile for Army and Air Force, we have supersonic cruise missiles, that is BrahMos. BrahMos is a joint venture of India and Russia. So BrahMos is named after, the name itself came from the two rivers, that is Brahma, river Brahma and river Moscows, two rivers and two countries, that is Moscow, India and Russia. And there is another multi-barrel rocket launcher system, that is Pinaka MK1. So Pinaka is nothing but is a multi-barrel rocket system. For every rocket launches, we need to have a launchers. So for launches, we will be having a multi-barrels. So this is called barrel. If we have a multi-barrels, then it is called a multi-barrels. So this multi-barrel, the rocket is launched in this. And there is a torpedo advanced light, and heavyweight ship launched torpedo Varunastra is also another important torpedo. That's a torpedo is nothing but it's another missiles. And apart from the missiles and sensors, we also developed these soldier support systems. The computerized pilot selection system for Indian Air Force is also developed by DRDO. So computerized pilot selection system for Indian Air Force. And we also developed this telemedicine system for Navy. We'll also develop the submarine escape suit that you can see here. So developed by submarine. There's a DRDO, developed by DRDO, this submarine escape. Submarine is nothing but it is a vehicle that actually stays underwater for a long time. If anything happens, if the submarine fails in the water, what happens to the people in that? So they have to escape from that. So they go under the water like 1 kilometer depth, 2 kilometers depth, depth water under the sea. So they have to escape. For that, they need to have a special escape suits. Those suits are developed by this DRDO also. And then we have a flame retardant gloves. Of course, these gloves we have, these people will actually work with the fire also. There's a fire, so fire flame retardant gloves also developed by this NBFC products. The NBC products also developed by this. And then Defense Institute of High Altitude Research is another one. DIHAR is under DRDO. So Defense Institute of High Altitude Research, we all know that Kargil war has actually taught us many things. In this Kargil war, the soldiers, the Pakistani soldiers were staying in the high altitude, and we have to go from the bottom. So the Siachen and this area is a high altitude region, which is a very sensitive and very important region for the country. So for that we need to have high altitude researches, so that how we can survive there, how how long we can stay there. Our country's strength lies on the best technology that we have and the best people who can fight in this high altitude region will decide whether we will be protecting our region in that area or not. For that, this Defense Institute of High Altitude Research is also under the DRDO. And then also we have a vegetable science, like solar based greenhouses including low cost double walled trenches were designed, and its sustainability for round the year vegetable cultivation was standardized, demonstrated and disseminated. So this technology is also disseminated by this DRDO to the private people also. So horticulture and post-harvest technologies is also installed and demonstrated a gradient-based drip irrigation system to conserve water in cold desert. The medicinal and aromatic plants and formulated herbal antioxidant supplement using these medicinal plants growing at high altitude to counteract the high altitude maladies. So high altitude psychology, this is established world highest high altitude physiology. High altitude physiology. They established this world highest high altitude physiology workstation at Changla, that is around 17,586 feet. The DRDO Young Scientist Laboratories are expected to carve new frontiers in the advanced technologies and smart materials to enable the development of the futuristic defense systems. So DRDO Young Scientist Laboratories are laboratories, the other 4 laboratories located, this one laboratory is located in Bangalore and set to concentrate on artificial intelligence, and the other 4 labs are located in various places like Kolkata, focusing on these asymmetric technologies. In IIT Chennai, we have cognitive technologies. In IIT Mumbai, we have quantum technologies. In IIT Hyderabad, we have in Hyderabad we have smart materials. So what is this critical? Let us look into the critical of this DRDO. The DRDO has been called as a white elephant by CAG and Parliamentary Standing Committee, which means that the DRDO is actually wasting a lot of money. It has been infamous for the time and cost overruns, which could be seen in the delivery of Arjun main battle tank and spy systems, radars, and even 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗔 So DRDO was established in 1958 and is initially with we have talked about the 10 laboratories, but has ever gone 52, and then we have funding constraints. Let us look into the several issues like funding constraints. The low revenue commitment accrued to the DRDO. This PSC, Parliamentary Standing Committee on Defence, in 2017 noted that the cost escalation and long delays are due to funding delays. For example, the Kaveri engine has seen a 6-year delay, which resulted in 800% cost escalation. So Kaveri is an engine, okay, that is developed by DRDO, and because of these delays, that cost has increased 800% times. So, and another important thing is import dependency. India accounts for almost 12% of the total defense imports of the world. So, of course, according to the Stockholm's Peace Research Institute. This is due to the fact that all the technology developed by DRDO is not suitable. The services reject many products due to poor standards and quality. The army, naval, and then air defense will actually reject many products due to the poor standards and quality. And there is another important thing is obsolete technology. Many R&D projects are still tinkering with World War II equipment. So General V.K. Singh, is a retired one, noted that 97% of the Army's air defense is obsolete. That's what he said. And the lab factory dichotomy. According to this IDSA, the main problem with DRDO is shifting work from factories to labs. The work should actually happen in the factories, not in the labs. No procedure works takes place in the factories, and labs do research without a game plan. So because of this dichotomy, many labs also function without defense R&D. So for example, 4 DRDO labs in food and agriculture and 1 in business management, which overlaps with 𝗖𝗪𝗪 and others. 𝗖𝗪𝗪 is already there for agriculture related things, and again DRDO is also have their own food and agriculture related labs. So where is this coordination comes into this? 𝗖𝗪𝗪 is the one which has this practical knowledge, this field knowledge factory, but DRDO doesn't contain that. So because of this dichotomy issues, we are having this ineffective things. And there is another problem is inadequate manpower, lack of synergy with the armed forces, skills and tactics. There is also poor accountability in this. So because of these issues, well, so what is the way forward for this? So the in-house proposal, that is back to factories from labs. We have to go to the factories. The factories will become China. If you look at the China will actually imports any equipment and then reverse engineers that. That happens in the factories, not in the labs, and shut down these unproductive labs or integrate them. So Ministry of Defense plans to merge or close the 20 labs. P.K. Ramarao committee recommended forming a commercial arm for the project. And there is a V.K. Saraswati, the ex-DRDO chief, recommended for Defense Tech Commission and DRDO to pick production itself. So for the development and even the outsourcing activities like a long-term combat with TCS for software solution, they have come out with the DRDO TCS collaboration. And DRDO in 2021 launched with HR perspective for free and fair knowledge sharing and open book and participative management. So these are the important way forward for this program, DRDO, and thank you very much.